Hey everyone, Joe here at Sports Grid, coming at you with Pocket with Joe. Let's make some money on the ice today. We've got tons to go over. If I said the slate was packed, it is completely packed here. And I see you guys all coming in already with everything you're talking about. I love Matt saying Hughes and Hughes anytime goal. Matt, I swear, you have seen exactly what I wanted to bring to you guys. Now, I have all three Hughes brothers for an anytime goal. You guys, if you take Luke Hughes, he's a defenseman for the Devils as well. So Luke Hughes for the anytime goal, Jack Hughes for the anytime goal, and Quinn Hughes for the anytime goal. If your book will take it, and not all books will take it, it's plus 6,782. It is an absolute long shot, $1 kind of bet. But if you take Luke and Quinn, that's plus 3980. 3980. So $5 bet returns just over $205 or just under 205. And if you just take Jack and Luke Hughes, that comes in at plus 1333. So play around with the anytime goal scores for all the Hughes brothers. I'm thinking they're having Thanksgiving tomorrow together, and we could see them come out and be able to get a nice win. So nice wins as well as make us some money on the ice. So let's jump into the first game. Just let me pull up here. Current spreads. All of the spreads are over on FanDuel. All of these lines on FanDuel as well. Okay, first game. The Buffalo Sabres taking on the Washington Capitals. The Buffalo Sabres coming in here at plus 104. The Washington Capitals at minus 125. Total of 6.5. Actually, you guys, let's jump to the Edmonton Oilers game. I wanted to talk that one first. The Edmonton Oilers plus 125. The Carolina Hurricanes minus 150. Total 6.5 at minus 134. Now, I know this is juiced to the over. You guys know when I'm looking at games like this where it's juiced to the over, I love those first period, laying that puck line for one of these teams or looking at that both teams to score. I do like both teams to score in the first period here. Edmonton has had its struggles where they've been getting up in these games and their opponent has been coming back. This team still struggles with goaltending. Now, Skinner is back in net tonight. He's got a 3.39 goals against average, and the Carolina Hurricanes are so phenomenally strong at home. So looking at this one, if you want to take the Canes team total, I wouldn't blame you. I think the team total is a really strong way, but I do think this game goes to that over. We look at Edmonton. They're just not solid on the road this season. So the Canes team total does make a lot of sense. 2-7 straight up and on that puck line on the road. Looking at the Carolina Hurricanes, they are 5-1 at home this season. At those odds, just let me double check those odds. Minus 150 now. It was minus 144 earlier in the day. Taking Carolina in regulation, I'm still not completely confident in, because if this Edmonton team can get things back together, we could see them go into this one and be able to push this to OT. I do think Carolina is the right side, though. They did win this matchup back on November 10th, 7-2. So I think it's a strong way to look here, looking at Carolina, but the stronger way is to look at that over 6.5 or the Canes team total. Now, if you're looking for anytime goal scores, we know Connor McDavid has been getting back in the action for the Edmonton Oilers. I really like Sebastian Aho here of the Carolina Hurricanes. He's coming in at plus 145. The both teams to score in the first period at plus 150. If you want to take that goal in the first 5 minutes, you know that this has been making us money when we look at the Edmonton Oilers. It was 54 seconds too late from that last game. That first goal within the first 5 minutes, it came at 5 minutes and 54 seconds by Connor McDavid. So kind of screwed us there. But I do like the goal in the first 5 minutes. I like the both teams over the first period 1.5. That both teams to score at plus 150 as well. Okay, next game, the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Current odds here for the Chicago Blackhawks, they're coming in at plus 126. We've got minus 152 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Total 6.5. Minus 108 to the over, minus 112 to the under. I do think this one goes over the total. I look at both of these teams, and both of these teams absolutely struggling to get in the win column. We have the Chicago Blackhawks losing their last 4. And the Columbus Blue Jackets, hold your breath, losing the last 9. This team desperately needs a win. This is a one-off home game. They're back on the road with the Devils and then the Canes on deck. They've got a hard schedule, and then the Bruins back at home on Monday. So they need this win here and tonight, and I do think this could be the one to break that losing streak and not push them to 10 straight losses. So give me the Columbus Blue Jackets. You're going to lay juice with them, though, minus 152. So not favorite bet of the game. I would like to look at those goal scorers instead. Connor Bedard has been so solid at getting us those goals. He's coming in at plus 145 tonight for the anytime goal. He has 8 points on the season, 4 goals and 4 assists. So I love him coming into this one to be able to get us that anytime goal. And that is in the last 5 games that he has those 4 goals and 4 assists. Corey Perry, the anytime goal, has been making us money. Corey Perry coming in here at plus 350. I love the long shot bet on him. And looking at the other side of the puck for the Columbus Blue Jackets, we got Johnny Gaudreau coming in here at plus 220. Adam Fantilli is at plus 210. And Bon Jenner at plus 170. Patrick Lane at plus 185. If I was looking at any of those guys, I really do think Johnny Hockey has kind of lit a little bit of a fire in himself after a couple of really terrible performances. So I like the value on Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey here at that plus 220. Over 6.5, I think, is a given in this one. These two teams trend to that over, and I know you look at their numbers. Both of these teams not putting up a lot of goals, both averaging under 3, but both of these defenses allowing their goaltenders to be hit a lot. Now, Elvis confirmed here for the Columbus Blue Jackets and Peter Moretz here confirmed for the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't really trust either goalie. Both have a save percentage of right around that 900 mark. Elvis at 0.891, and we see Peter Moretz a little stronger at 0.915. So I do think those goals are coming in this one. The overs hit in 4 of the last 6 meetings. One has pushed. We got a 6.5, so we're not pushing in this. Okay. Let's move on to the next game. We're going to try to fly through these. I'll look at some of your questions in just a minute. The next one, the New Jersey Devils are taking on the Detroit Red Wings. Now, the New Jersey Devils, the favorite on the road, Jack Hughes is back in the lineup, and this was huge in his last game out, getting the goal and getting the assist. I talked about Jack Hughes already for that anytime goal, and I do think he will get it in this one. You can bet him outside of my Hughes brother parlay. You've got the Detroit Red Wings here at plus 128, and you've got a total of 6.5. Minus 130 to the over, and I do think this one has a prime opportunity of going over. And before I forget, the Chicago Blackhawks Columbus Blue Jackets game, I did take to go to OT as well. That plus 370, both of those teams so desperately needing the win. I do think it is a 3-3 going to overtime, getting us those 7 goals. So that is in that one. This one, I don't have to go to overtime, but you could see it happen. I really do like what we've seen out of the Detroit Red Wings as well. This team rolled so hot to start the season, and DeBrincat was basically unstoppable out there. I do think looking at DeBrincat in this game for the anytime goal at plus 170 holds so much value. Dylan Larkin has been really solid for them as well. His anytime goal coming in at plus 200. Now, this team, the Red Wings here, off a couple of losses. They lost to the Leafs and Sens. And when we look at the Devils coming in here, they're off that loss to the Rangers, 5-3 loss. So both teams coming in, needing this win in this one. Jack Hughes outside of that parlay is plus 130 for the anytime goal. And the Devils won this matchup back on October 12th, 13th, right in there. And it was a 4-3 win for the Devils. I think it's a very, very similar game in this one, but I could see the Red Wings getting the win. I also like Luke Hughes, like I said, in that parlay for the anytime goal, parlaying all 3 brothers, but outside the parlay, he's so much value at plus 550 for the anytime goal. You can look at him for the point tonight as well. A lot safer taking him for the point. He has 10 points on the season, 1 goal and 9 assists. So it's asking a lot at that plus 550 though for the anytime goal. I think there's value, but also value in that point. He could get the assists, and we could cash both of those bets as well. Tyler Toffoli, the anytime goal for the Devils, coming in at plus 145. Jasper Bratt at plus 170. I do like both of those guys as well. I do think this one is a back and forth battle here. Such talent on both sides of the puck, able to find the back of the net. So give me the over 6.5 as well. The Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers. Now, this game kicks off at 7:10 Eastern. We have the Boston Bruins rolling in here at -110. The Florida Panthers at -110. Total of 6.5. Now, that 6.5 is juiced to that under at -132 to the under 6.5. So this is an interesting way to look at this game. For that total, I think it goes over. And we know the Florida Panthers have been able to lock down a lot of spots. We're getting plus money at plus 108 to the over in this one, but I do think this is another 4-3 style game here. And yes, Allmark and Bobrovsky, we've got elite goaltending in both sides. I do think the Panthers are the right side, though. I'm going against the Boston Bruins, which is really hard to do. They're off an overtime loss versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. They've been out on the road for a while. They lost that one versus the Lightning 5-4. And if the Lightning can beat the Boston Bruins, I do have every belief in the Florida Panthers to be able to come out here at home with their style of play right now, like limited penalties for this team. And they need to do that because we know the Boston Bruins are so phenomenally strong. They're averaging 3.47 goals per game. They don't have an elite power play, but they've got a very strong kill here at 90.8%. It's the best kill overall in the league. Looking at Bobrovsky here, we've seen so much out of him. He's got a 2.66 goals against average, save percentage of 0.906. I do have faith in Bobrovsky to be able to battle up against Omar. This is going to be a goalie battle, even though I think the pucks find the back of the net in this one. Now, Montour is back in the lineup. He's been back in the lineup for the Florida Panthers, which does add to their defense. But Montour is one of those players that plays both ways of the puck. Well, he's a defenseman. He's an offensive defenseman who's able to find the back of the net. Montour for the anytime goal here is plus 440. And I think it's worth a little bit of a sprinkle, or you could look at him for the point. Minus 130 for a point for Montour tonight. So I do like his ability. I just look at the Florida Panthers. They've been so phenomenally strong on their home ice. They're sitting 7-1 on their home ice, winning their last 6 games at home, looking to extend that here. Now, if you're looking at who we like here other than Montour for those goals, you know you got to look at Matthew Tkachuk, but Sam Reinhart for that anytime goal. He's been incredible out there on the ice. He has a goal in each of his last 4 games as well versus the Boston Bruins. So at plus 175 for Sam Reinhart for the anytime goal, such a value. He leads this team with 13 goals. David Pastrnak has been incredible for the Boston Bruins. So he's on a point streak right now. He has 15 points, 4 goals, and 11 assists the last 7 games. So 2+ points for Pastrnak tonight is plus 130. I just look at the talent offensively on both sides of the puck. And while we know these teams can lock down defensively, I think we see a little bit more of an open game out of the Boston Bruins with them finishing up this road trip here, and we have a higher scoring one. So give me the Florida Panthers on the money line at minus 110. Give me the over 6.5 in a 4-3 style game. This one could go to overtime. Sam Reinhart for the anytime goal at plus 175. You gotta love a player who has scored on an opponent the last 4 times out. So I love that. And Pastrnak to continue his point streak, that 2+ points at plus 130. For the last 5 meetings have gone over that total as well, you guys. You look at these teams and you think defense, but I do think big offensive night. The next game on deck, we have the New York Rangers. Now they're in action tonight on the road versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. Minus 120 here for the Penguins, plus 100 for the Rangers, total 6.5. Now minus 110 to either side of that 6.5. Interesting. Igor, I don't believe is in it. I think it's Jonathan Quick. Someone, if you can see that confirmation, I did think I saw confirmation that it is Quick. Tristan Jarry here for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Looking at both of these teams, we have the Rangers off the loss, and the Rangers off a loss is a really scary situation. This team sitting 12-3-0-1 on the season. The New York Rangers are such a complete team, but I do think something about the scheduling spot scares me a little bit to take the New York Rangers. I'm going to look at this one to be a low-scoring battle out here and take the under 6.5. I do think this one is another game that has the opportunity to go to OT in a 2-2 style game. I love the face-off of both of these teams. They both have really strong face-offs. We look at the New York Rangers' second-best power play. That power play is converting at 32.7%, but we have the Penguins here with a really strong kill. Their kill is at 4.9%. We also look at the kill here of the Rangers, that's sitting at 83.7. These two teams, I think, will grind each other down, low-scoring defensive battle. The under 6.5 is the only way I can look in this one. Tristan Jarry is a net for the Pittsburgh Penguins. We have Ryan Russ still day-to-day, their right winger. Erik Karlsson and Sidney Crosby been so phenomenally strong for the Penguins. Now, Sidney Crosby, he's been on a point streak, and we know the Rangers were on a really nice 11-game point streak that ended in their last one, losing to the Dallas Stars. This team's going to want to get it back on track. So I lean to the Rangers, but I like the under 6.5 a lot better because the Pittsburgh Penguins, something about this team right now, they have been sneaky good. And between these two, when they play each other, there's major home ice advantage, 20-7 in the last 27 to that home team. Adam Fox still out for the Rangers. In a way, I could see the Rangers losing this one to the Pittsburgh Penguins the day before Thanksgiving, but give me the under 6.5. I think it is my favorite. It is quick and Jarry. That's what I thought, and not Igor Shesterkin. And that really does lead me more strongly to that under. I think Igor Shesterkin, while we saw him out in that last game and he did allow those, 3 goals. I think Igor is going to take a while to get his numbers down lower. And Jonathan Quick, while I still think he's due for one of those games where he gets yanked and his numbers are just too good to be true right now, I think this will be a game we see Quick come out nice and strong. So you guys, thank you so much for shouting out that quick one there. Joe, the Hughes Brothers 3-way parlay at plus 8,400. You got to love that. Yeah, I got it at plus 67.80 too. So you really have to shop those lines to do that Hughes brother parlay. I am going to look at Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar. We'll get to that game though. Taking both defensive men for those anytime goals and parlaying those two together. What was that at? I didn't write it down, so I'm sure I have it in my notes here somewhere. We'll get back to that one. The next game, the Winnipeg Jets and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, the Lightning able to get the win over the Boston Bruins, which was really impressive. They're minus 110 here at home versus the Winnipeg Jets. That total 6.5, juice to that over at minus 122, which makes sense. The Tampa Bay Lightning have been allowing those goals to come in. And we know the Winnipeg Jets really have turned to a stronger offensive team than defensive team this season. While their defense is locking down those allowed shots, they are racking up the goals allowed because of goaltending. Connor Hellebuyck hasn't been as strong as I would like to see in this year. And Connor Hellebuyck has never been a really strong bet on him on the road kind of situation. So I do like Connor Hellebuyck, but on the road here versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have played stronger at home this season. They're sitting 6-2 at home. I do think the Tampa Bay Lightning are the right side. Braden Point has been strong. I'd look at him for the points. Steven Stamkos scored that tying goal. And I don't know if you guys watched that game for the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Boston Bruins. There was seconds left on the clock. And I'm talking like 4 or 5 seconds when Stamkos scored that goal to tie it up with the Boston Bruins, push it to OT, and then they were able to get the win, and Hagel got that goal. So this team's going to roll in with momentum. I think on their home ice the day before Thanksgiving, we see the Lightning get the win. Okay, the next game on deck. Makar is due, Joe, and that's why I'm going to bundle him and Quinn Hughes for a different kind of parlay as well. Quick has been fantastic. I'm with you. Absolutely killer. Okay, the next game on deck. We have the Buffalo Sabres taking on the Washington Capitals. Okay, this is not my favorite game on the board. So the Buffalo Sabres, let's see, the current odds on this one. Maybe we got some odd line movement. No, plus 104. The Washington Capitals minus 125. Total 6.5. Juice to that under 6.5 at minus 122. The over 6.5 coming in at plus 100, and I could see it going over that total just because I don't trust in Darcy Kemper as much as I would like to. He is confirmed in goal for the Washington Capitals. We know how fantastic he was when he was with Colorado, but he got a lot more support from his defense. The defense of the Capitals are allowing 30.5 shots on goal on average. Now, they have a really strong kill here. But Darcy Kemper, in his last 5 starts, has allowed 3 or more goals. So I do see the goals coming in for the Buffalo Sabres. And you got to look at Levi here, out here for the Buffalo Sabres in net. he hasn't been as solid as we saw him in a couple of those games. He's got a 3.65 goals against average, of 0.881 save percentage. Both of these teams averaging under 3 goals per game, and I think that's why you're getting this one juiced juiced to that under. But I do think you can take that plus 100 to the over. Both teams have strong offensive weapons. They just have to find the weak spots of these goalies, and I think both will. So give me the over 6.5. You can look at Ovechkin for the anytime goal in this one. Ovechkin's been playing really strong, been getting those goals. We know he's going for those goal records there. So anytime goal in this one coming in at plus 105. If you're looking for a goal scorer for the Buffalo Sabres, Jeff Skinner has been solid in his anytime goal coming in at plus 180. So the penalty kill here has been so strong for the Washington Capitals, and this is the only thing that gives me a little bit of fear for the Buffalo Sabres. When we look at the last 10 games, the Washington Capitals have been on the penalty kill 23 times. They've killed every single one of those penalty kills in the last 23 in the last 10 games. So that is saying a lot for them. Okay. The Philadelphia Flyers are taking on the New York Islanders. Carter Hart confirmed in goal. You know how hard it is to go against Carter Hart. Now, plus 126 for the Flyers, minus 152 for the New York Islanders. Total 5.5, minus 118 to the over, minus 104 to the under. Right away, I hate taking under 5.5. So if we see a quick goal in this one, that line will move, and then we can take it under the 6.5. So that's my best look ahead for that live action. I do think even though we're going to see a strong day out of both goaltenders, I'm only going to ride one goaltender's save shots on goal to the over, and that is Sorokin, even though I think the Flyers can get the win. So hear me out why I'm liking this. Sorokin's coming in with a 0.906 save percentage. His save shots on goal, 28.5. The reason I'm going to take this to the over, we look at the Philadelphia Flyers. They're averaging 31.4 shots on goal per game. The New York Islanders are allowing Sorokin to be absolutely peppered. They're allowing 35.1 shots on goal. So when we look at a weak defense, allowing those shots, a hot goaltender in Sorokin, and a Flyers team that is averaging 31.4, we know Sorokin is going to face what? 40 shots, 38 shots? 36 shots even on goal. We've got a huge buffer number here at 28.5, especially when the books are predicting this one to go under that total. So Sorokin, save shots on goal over 28.5. My favorite bet of this game. When you look at Carter Hart here, yes, I think Carter Hart's going to have a fantastic night. Can Carter Hart win the Flyers the game? Absolutely. His number 27.5. There's no way I can take this to the over. It's not because I don't think Carter Hart's going to have a good day. You look at the New York Islanders averaging 31 shots on goal per game. That is fantastic. We love to see that. But you got to look at the other side. You got to look at what the defense of the Flyers are allowing. It's only 27.7 shots on goal per game. So this defense is going to be getting those block shots. I don't think Carter Hart faces 28, 29, 30. 30, 20. 30's getting to the point where I don't think he faces that many. 28, I think this is right on that number, and we're going to see at least a goal by the New York Islanders, so I can't touch Carter Hart here. The Islanders have the Sens on deck on Friday. These two teams play again in New York again on Saturday. So if the Flyers are able to pull off the win here, I would look again at the New York Islanders, early look ahead for that Saturday game to be able to get the win. I don't think one team dominates the other team. And if we see a big loss here by the Flyers, I'd look at the Flyers on Saturday. So because especially with the Islanders, they have to travel to Ottawa on Friday and then back home. The Philadelphia Flyers are traveling. They're not even traveling. They're taking on the Rangers on Friday. So New York Islanders, the New York Rangers, and New York Islanders, the Flyers have the easy schedule. I would actually, maybe the Flyers take both of these games. Who is the best goalie of the season? Best stat goalie of the season right now? It's got to still be looking at Ullmark for his numbers. I would expect it's Ullmark right now, or even Swayman. Ullmark and Swayman have been absolutely killer out there. But you even look at Carter Hart, his number above that 1 point, so it's at 2.4. goals against average, but that save percentage of 0.919. He has been phenomenal. You've got Sorokin coming in here at 0.906. So I don't know. Between Allmark and Swayman, I think Ottinger's been strong as well. But we've had a great success out of Binghamton. That's who we're going to look at next. We got the St. Louis Blues taking on the Arizona Coyotes. Now, minus 105 here for the St. Louis Blues, minus 114 for the Arizona Coyotes. Total 6.5. Now, this 6.5 is juiced to the under at minus 118. Arizona Coyotes were a team where we bet on them at home last season. They were absolutely lights out at home. That's kind of worn off a little bit, and I don't know if those teams were just having a hard time playing in Mullet Arena. That was just like, it's such a small location that it kind of threw them off. So they've been okay, though. Still okay, 4-3 at home this season, but I do think this is one where I'm going to back the Arizona Coyotes. We know how strong Clayton Keller has been for this team. Looking at Clayton Keller for the anytime goal and Logan Cooley, they're both my favorite guys to back from this team. The Blues offense just doesn't have the depth that I like and be able to rely on them. Now with Jordan Binnington in goal, it is a different story because he's been so phenomenally strong. He's got a 0.92 to a save percentage, and Romelka coming out here. He's been strong. His goals against average is high at 3.18, but that save percentage of 0.901. The power play is just so much stronger here for the Arizona Coyotes, and it's so weak for the St. Louis Blues. I think special teams here for the Coyotes can get them this win, so I'm going to ride with the Arizona Coyotes at minus, what is it? Minus 110, minus 114, a little bit of movement on that line at home. Clayton Keller, when we look at him, 17.7 goals, 10 assists in the 18 games. So these two teams have already played. It was a low-scoring game. Binghamton absolutely stood on his head. It was a 2-1 win back earlier November, but I do think this is one Arizona bounces back at home. The Calgary Flames taking on the Nashville Predators. Jacob Markstrom is expected in net for the Calgary Flames. So Saros expected here for the Nashville Predators. Calgary coming in as a favorite does scare me. Calgary's minus 114, minus 105 for the Predators. Total 6.5 at minus 128 to the under, minus 104 to the over. Again, I like another high-scoring game in this one. I look at Calgary's schedule, and it's so very hard. They have the Stars on deck on Friday, then the Colorado Avalanche, and then they're back home to face the Vegas Golden Knights on Monday. The Predators have been so strong. I don't think they deserve to be the underdog in this situation, especially with Saros in goal. Yes, they have a really weak kill, and Calgary has a better kill, but the power play for these teams, the Predators do have the advantage. Calgary has not been strong against Nashville, but they've been strong playing in Nashville. So against Nashville in the last 9 meetings, they've only won 2 of those, but in Nashville, they've won 9 of the last 13. So it is a strong place for Calgary to play. They're off that overtime win versus Seattle. I'm just not buying into Calgary at the price that we've got them. If they were coming in as a bit of an underdog, I could get behind this team, but not at this price. The underdog has won 20 of the last 26 meetings between these two. It's the Predators. Philip Forsberg has been playing so elite out there. I think he has every opportunity of getting the win. 9 points on the season. That is 7 goals and 2 assists. So if you're looking for a goal scorer, Jacob Markstrom, we know, can be an absolute sieve in some situations. So I would look at this one for these teams to go to the over, for Philip Forsberg to come out. Who am I counting on from Calgary? No one. The Calgary Flames let me down so much, but Connor Zary, the young guy that they brought up from the AHL, he is just phenomenal. He's pushing this offense, and he's really driving that puck down the ice. So look at Connor Zary if you want to look at that anytime goal. Huge trends to this over as well, you guys, and I can't believe this one actually has been juiced to that under. The Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Dallas Stars. This one is going to be absolutely incredible out there, especially if you like the Dallas Stars. I think they get the win tonight. They're minus 130. Sally, a big shout out to you. Happy. It's Wednesday. It feels like Friday, you guys. I don't know what day it is, but the Dallas Stars come in at minus 130, plus 108 for the Vegas Golden Knights. Total 5.5, minus 134 to the over. This one I can't see going over that total. This one to the under is plus 110. It's scary to take a 5.5 to the under. That is exactly where I have to go. Peter DeBoer here, the head coach of the Dallas Stars. You know he's got revenge on his mind. He wants to take down the Vegas Golden Knights so much. He was fired from Vegas as their head coach. So this is going to be a huge revenge spot. Now these teams have already played this season. So yes, was Dallas in that revenge spot and Peter DeBoer in that revenge spot already? They were. They weren't able to pull it off. That game went all the way to a shootout, and Vegas won it 3-2. This is going to be a very, very similar game tonight. If you want to take one game to go to OT, I think this game could go to OT. I also think this is the game where the Dallas Stars get that revenge. They get the win. Strong defensive battle, stays under the 5.5. So this is also the last game on the road for the Vegas Golden Knights. They're ready to go home. They're ready for Thanksgiving. Dallas, though, they're out for blood tonight. Ottinger and Aiden Hill is your goaltending matchup. Ottinger at a 2.5 goals against average, save percentage of 0.920. This is going to be absolutely physical, low-scoring game. Absolutely, Sally. This is going to be such a battle out there, and these two teams so hard hitting. And you've also got to remember, not only do we have the coaching revenge here, you also have to look at how the Vegas Golden Knights eliminated the Dallas Stars from the Western Conference Finals. So there's huge reasons for the Dallas Stars to come out and really take this out on Vegas tonight. I think it's just a complete domination out there physically by defenses. Goaltenders stand up, and we have a low scoring battle that could be 1-1 going to OT, 2-2 at worst going to OT. But this one is going to come down to hopefully that shootout again, because I don't know about you guys, but that's absolutely what I like to see out there. Kev thinking the draw as well. Okay. The Montreal Canadiens taking on the Anaheim Ducks. Now, odds over at FanDuel. Let me just find them here. Montreal coming in at +104. The Anaheim Ducks at -125. Total 6.5 at -112 to the over. Now, looking at this, it's really interesting here because the Ducks, they went on this huge roll, and they haven't been rolling as hot as of late. They're sitting 9-9 on the season, 4-6 at home. I've been trusting the Ducks a little bit more out on the road. But you say that, and then you look at Montreal, and Montreal only has 2 road wins this season. Can the Montreal Canadiens get the win tonight? I absolutely think they can. I love what we're seeing out of Jake Allen in net for the Montreal Canadiens. And I told you guys, I love this Montreal Canadiens team. Young, hard, fast skaters out there. This is a team that goes down, and they're not afraid to make that comeback. They push and they drive down the ice nonstop in these games. Now, they've lost their last 4, but you look at that schedule. The Bruins, Vegas, the Calgary Flames, the Vancouver Canucks. 3 out of those 4 teams are elite teams between the Bruins, Vegas, and the Canucks. Yeah, counting out my Calgary Flames win. They always play Calgary hard, though. It is one of those teams where when Montreal comes to Calgary, I expect Montreal to be able to get the win. I think that they fight this one out to the very end. I'm going to take them at that plus money here on the money line. The Anaheim Ducks have lost their last 3. They just haven't been able to get things done. And that loss versus the Blues was a really bad loss. If they can't beat the St. Louis Blues that don't have the depth, they're going to really struggle here versus the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal then has the Sharks on deck on Friday, so they could get 2 wins in a row, which I'd like to see them be able to get. But let's talk about the San Jose Sharks. They're taking on the Seattle Kraken late game tonight. The Sharks coming in here at +240, -300 here for the Seattle Kraken. There is no way in hell I'm taking the Seattle Kraken at -300, even on that puck line, -1.5 at -118. This team has been so inconsistent. Total 6.5, juice to that under at -140. And the reason behind that is the Sharks struggle to score, and even worse, on the road. The Sharks are yet to win a road game. Okay, and I'm going to tell you that 0-8 on the road, but I'm going to bet on the Sharks tonight. I think the Sharks have every opportunity of pulling off the upset. The value is with the San Jose Sharks tonight. The value on that money line one more time at +240. It has moved up during the day. It was +225 when I got it earlier. It's just too much for me to pass up on. The Seattle Kraken, I just can't get behind them at what the books are valuing them at right now. So they've got to win eventually on the road, I would hope, this season. I think this is a nice opportunity for them. Joey Decord in net here for the Seattle Kraken. He hasn't been too hot. He's got a 2.98 goals against average. This team allowing those shots to come in on goaltending at 30.5. So it's the Sharks, a small sprinkle on that money line to get their first win on the road, which is saying a lot because 0-8 this season on the road, and they've been outscored 32-5. So hold your breath. It's gonna be an ugly one. I know you guys are not gonna like it. Some of you riding with the Ducks on the money line, Vegas to rock. Lightning strikes are powerful. Okay, next game. The Vancouver Canucks taking on the Colorado Avalanche. This is my favorite game of the night. We have a battle of the two best defensemen in the league, in my opinion, here, especially goal scoring defensemen, because you've got Cale Makar at home for the Colorado Avalanche, and you got Quinn Hughes here for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, I talk about Quinn Hughes all the time, taking him for that anytime goal. You guys know we have to do it again tonight. You know I put it in the Quinn, or not the Quinn Hughes brothers, the Hughes brothers parlay. I do think it's a big night for the Hughes brothers. You look at Quinn Hughes anytime goal tonight, plus 380. Cale Makar on the other side at plus 320. Now, Quinn Hughes is coming off a goal and an assist in the last game out versus the Sharks. He's got 30 points on the season, 8 goals, 22 assists in 19 games. He's only the third defenseman in NHL history to reach 30 points in fewer than 20 games. He's absolutely incredible out there. And I do think he's impactful in this game. You look at Cale Makar, though, he's not far behind. 27 points. He's got 4 goals, 23 assists in 17 games so far this season. Both of these guys are going to be really stepping up tonight. So Cale Makar for the anytime goal plus 320, Quinn Hughes at plus 380. Now we know how strong the Vancouver Canucks have been, and I think they can actually take Colorado in this one at home. And I say this because I trust the goaltending for the Vancouver Canucks so much better. We have Demko in net tonight, and Demko's absolutely phenomenal so far on the season. 2.12 goals against average, that save percentage of 0.929. His save shots on goal tonight, I would take to that over. The defense of the Vancouver Canucks is allowing 30.8 shots on goal. They've got a strong kill at 76.7%. They've got the third best power play in the league at 31%. So special teams is strong for the Vancouver Canucks. We look at the Colorado Avalanche. Georgiev expected tonight. He's got a 3.08 goals against average, a save percentage of 0.888. The defense is giving him the sport in front of him. And that was the thing Darcy Kemper had when he was with Colorado. It's just Georgiev isn't the level that Darcy Kemper was when he was with Colorado. So the defense holding opponents to 27.8, fourth best overall in the league, fifth best kill at 86.8%, and a solid power play at 19.4%. This team is firing at will, and they're averaging 33.9 shots on goal. So looking at Demko here, he will go over whatever numbers the books are giving you. I think it's a really solid way to look at Demko's safe shots. And I'm just going to look up that now because when I was looking earlier before the show, they had not put up this prop yet, and they still haven't. Demko has not been 100% confirmed. If it is Casey DeSmith, you guys, don't take the safe shots. Don't take the Vancouver Canucks on the money line. My money line bet here for the Vancouver Canucks is with Demko in net. The safe shots are because it will be Demko in net. If you're looking at goal scorers, Nathan McKinnon, he hasn't scored a goal in a while. I do think he's due at minus 110. I like Cale Makar a lot better. For Vancouver, this team is lights out at getting those goals, and Georgiev, I think, will allow them to go over their team total as well. So I do like JT Miller for the anytime goal at plus 190. He's tied for second in the NHL right now with 29 points, 12 goals, and 17 assists in 19 games. We've got Elias Pettersson coming in here for the anytime goal at plus 185. He's tied for third right now in the whole league with 28 points. That is 8 goals and 20 assists in 19 games. So we've got incredible forwards that I do think will get those goals, but this game is all about the strong offensive defensemen here. Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, they're the top 2 defensemen in the NHL right now. Quinn Hughes, anytime goal, plus 380, my favorite bet. Cale Makar at plus 320, my second favorite bet. And looking at the talent on both sides, I do think Vancouver will score us enough to push us over that total, but I like their team total better to that over. We know Colorado can score as well, but with Demko, I tell you, Demko is a difference maker for the Vancouver Canucks. If it's not Demko and it's Casey DeSmith, right away just take this game to that over because those goals are absolutely coming in. Makar is scoring tonight. Christopher going to take the Sharks plus 1.5. And with the value, you can absolutely still take them plus the 1.5 as well. You guys, that is everything for tonight. Don't forget, I'm high on the Quinn brothers. You can take all 3 Quinn brothers for an anytime goal. You're getting so much value on everyone but Jack. You're still getting value on Jack, but looking at Luke and Quinn, extreme value on both of those guys. Like I said, I parlayed all 3 of them together for a goal at 6,782. If you just put Quinn and Luke for the anytime goal, that's plus 39.80. So a $5 bet pays you just under $205. Yeah, and that's it. You guys, all the best in all of your bets. Tomorrow, there is no NHL tomorrow, but I am live on Sports Grid. I am live on Sports Grid from 4 p.m. Eastern to 8 o'clock. So come over and join us. We're going to be talking everything. You guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you. Until then, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here on the daily. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Best of luck in all of your bets. Let's make some freaking money tonight. Bye.